Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here with all of you today. The topic we're diving into today is one that resonates with every single one of us. Life is hard. No matter where we are in life, no matter how much we've accomplished, we all face challenges that test us, push us to the edge, and sometimes make us question everything. But it's in these moments, these hardships, where our true strength is revealed. Let's walk through 7 key principles that can guide us through the toughest of times. 1. Embrace the struggle. Life is full of struggles. No matter who you are or where you come from, challenges are inevitable. But here's the truth: struggle is not the enemy, it's an ally in disguise. When we face obstacles, it's easy to fall into the mindset that life is unfair, that things shouldn't be this hard. But what if, instead of resisting the struggle, we embraced it? Struggles are the universe's way of preparing you for greatness. They're like weights in the gym. And the more you push through them, the stronger you become. Think about it: when you go to the gym, you don't expect to get stronger without resistance. In fact, it's the resistance that builds your muscles. The same is true in life. Challenges force you to grow in ways you never would if everything were easy. When you embrace the struggle, you begin to see it for what it is: an opportunity for transformation. Struggles teach us patience when we want quick results. They teach us humility when we think we know it all. They teach us perseverance when we feel like giving up. Every difficulty holds a lesson. And if you're willing to embrace it, you'll come out on the other side, not just stronger, but wiser. Now, this doesn't mean it will be comfortable or enjoyable. Far from it. But comfort is often the enemy of progress. Growth happens in discomfort. That's why people who stay in their comfort zones rarely achieve their full potential. They avoid struggle, and in doing so, they avoid growth. One of the key differences between those who thrive in life and those who get stuck is how they respond to struggle. The people who thrive don't avoid difficulty, they lean into it. They ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How is this shaping me for something bigger? They understand that each challenge is not a dead end, but a detour to something better. Remember, you cannot become the person you're meant to be without going through some tough times. Those tough times are molding you, preparing you for the opportunities ahead. Embrace the struggle because it's a part of your journey. And when you embrace it, you take control of it. Instead of letting it break you, you allow it to build you into someone more powerful, more resilient. When life gets tough, don't shy away from it. Don't wish for easier days. Instead, focus on becoming stronger. Because on the other side of that struggle is the version of you that you've always been destined to be. The struggle is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Embrace it and you'll rise above anything life throws your way. 2. You are not a victim, you are a victor. When life hits you hard, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity. You may feel like the world is against you. Like every challenge, setback, or failure is proof that life is unfair. But here's a reality check: life owes you nothing, and the world isn't against you. The truth is, how you interpret these challenges determines whether you stay stuck or rise above them. You have 2 choices. You can choose to see yourself as a victim, or you can choose to see yourself as a victor. Being a victim is easy. It requires no effort, just sitting back, feeling sorry for yourself, and blaming everything around you for your circumstances. When you adopt the mindset of a victim, you hand over your power. You tell yourself that life is happening to you, not for you, and in that mindset you become powerless. You allow the circumstances to dictate your feelings, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. But being a victor, that takes strength. It takes courage. It means taking responsibility for your life no matter what happens. It means acknowledging that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. A victor understands that life's hardships are not a reason to stop, they are a reason to push even harder. But being a victor, that takes strength. It takes courage. It means taking responsibility for your life no matter what happens. It means acknowledging that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. A victor understands that life's hardships are not a reason to stop, they are a reason to push even harder. What separates a victor from a victim isn't the absence of problems, it's the mindset they adopt in the face of those problems. A victor sees every challenge as an opportunity for growth. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, they ask, what is this teaching me? They use the adversity as fuel, turning pain into power and failure into feedback. The truth is, every single one of us will face difficulties in life. We will experience failure, heartbreak, disappointment, even betrayal. But how we choose to respond to those experiences will define the rest of our lives. Will you allow the setbacks to defeat you, or will you use them as stepping stones to rise above? Being a victor doesn't mean you won't feel the pain, frustration, or sadness when things go wrong. Those emotions are part of being human. But a victor doesn't stay stuck in those emotions. They don't allow temporary feelings to dictate their future. Instead, they acknowledge the pain, process it, and then move forward with renewed strength and focus. Victors take ownership of their lives. They don't blame others for their problems, nor do they wait for someone else to save them. They understand that the only person who can truly change their situation is themselves. They decide that no matter what happens, they will not be defeated. Look at some of the most successful people in the world. Every single one of them has faced adversity. They've been knocked down more times than you can count. But what sets them apart is their refusal to give up. They didn't allow themselves to be defined by their failures or hardships. Instead, they used those experiences to propel them forward, to build their character, and to strengthen their resolve. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a victor, everything changes. You realize that you have the power to shape your future regardless of your past. You understand that life's challenges are not obstacles to your success, they are part of the path to your success. So remember this, you are not a victim, you are a victor. And no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength, the resilience, and the power to rise above it. 3, failure is not final. Failure is often misunderstood. Too many people see failure as an end, a point of no return. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Every person who has ever achieved anything worthwhile has faced failure, sometimes repeatedly. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they handle failure. Those who succeed understand that failure is not final, it's feedback. Think of failure like a signpost on your journey. It doesn't mean you've reached the end of the road, it means you need to adjust your course. When a plane flies from one city to another, it's constantly making small corrections. It's not flying in a straight line. The same is true in life. Failure is simply a signal that you need to make a change, whether it's in your approach, your mindset, or your strategy. But here's the thing, most people are afraid of failure. They see it as something to avoid at all costs. They fear the embarrassment, the disappointment, and the pain that comes with it. And because of that fear, they never take the risk necessary to grow. But avoiding failure also means avoiding progress. If you're not willing to fail, you're not willing to succeed. Every great inventor, entrepreneur, and leader has a story of failure behind their success. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about those failures, he didn't see them as wasted efforts. Instead, he said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the mindset of someone who understands that failure is not final. It's part of the process. Each failure teaches you something valuable. Maybe it shows you what doesn't work. Or maybe it teaches you resilience, patience, or the importance of persistence. The lessons you gain from failure are often the most powerful because they force you to reflect, to adapt, and to improve. Success, on the other hand, can sometimes make you complacent. It's the failures that truly drive growth. The key is to learn from your failures and keep moving forward. Too many people allow failure to paralyze them. They fail once or twice, and they think maybe this just isn't for me, but the reality is the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. Failure is a necessary part of the journey to success, and the sooner you embrace that, the more unstoppable you become. When you fail, don't see it as a reflection of your worth. Too often, people internalize failure and let it define them. They think I failed, so I must be a failure, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Failure is an event, not a person. Just because you failed at something doesn't mean you are a failure. It simply means that what you tried didn't work that time. It's a temporary situation, not a permanent label. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid failure, they're the ones who learn from it and keep going. They have what's called a growth mindset. They see failure not as a reflection of their abilities, but as an opportunity to improve. Every time they fail, they get one step closer to their goal because they're constantly learning and evolving. Here's a powerful truth: the only way you can truly fail is by giving up. As long as you keep moving, keep trying, and keep learning, failure is just a stepping stone on the path to success. It's not the end, it's just part of the journey. So the next time you fail, don't let it discourage you. Don't let it stop you from pursuing your dreams. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? And most importantly, remember that failure is not final. It's just one chapter in your story, and it's up to you to keep writing the next one. 4, your why must be stronger than your pain. There are going to be moments in life when the pain feels overwhelming, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, and everything inside you is telling you to quit. These moments will test your resolve, your patience, and your endurance. The pain might come from failure, rejection, or even just the grind of everyday life. But in those moments, what will keep you moving forward is not sheer willpower alone, it's your why. Your purpose, your reason for doing what you're doing must be stronger than the pain you're experiencing. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is the price we pay for progress, for growth, for success. The question is, what will keep you pushing through the pain? The answer is your why. It's the deeper reason behind your actions, the driving force that compels you to keep going, even when everything seems stacked against you. Your why is personal. It could be the desire to provide a better life for your family, to make a difference in your community, to fulfill your potential, or to leave a legacy. Whatever it is, it has to be something that resonates deeply within you, something that makes all the struggle worthwhile. Because when the going gets tough, and it's your why that will keep you moving forward when others would give up. When you're clear about why you're doing something, the pain becomes more bearable. Think of a marathon runner. There comes a point in the race when their body is screaming for them to stop. Their muscles ache, their lungs burn, and every step feels harder than the last. But they don't quit. Why? Because their reason for running, whether it's personal achievement, a cause they believe in, or the sheer determination to finish, is stronger than the pain. They push through the discomfort because they're focused on the end goal, not the temporary struggle. The same applies to your life and your goals. There will be moments when the road ahead seems too difficult. You may feel tired, discouraged, or even defeated. But if your why is strong enough, you'll find the strength to keep going. When the pain threatens to stop you in your tracks, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Remember why you started in the first place. People often give up not because the task is impossible, but because they've lost sight of their why. They allow the pain to overshadow their purpose. But here's the thing, pain is temporary. It might last for a day, a week, or even a year. But eventually it fades. What will remain is the legacy you build by pushing through it. The regret of giving up lasts much longer than the discomfort of persistence. When you understand your why, it gives you the ability to endure more than you ever thought possible. It fuels you when the odds are against you, when others doubt you, and when you're doubting yourself. It gives meaning to the struggle, transforming pain into something you can harness rather than something that holds you back. But finding your why is not always easy. It requires deep reflection and honesty. You have to look within and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What am I willing to fight for? Even when it hurts. Once you find that answer, it becomes your anchor. No matter how strong the storm, your why will keep you grounded. Pain is inevitable on the road to success. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But when your why is strong, those obstacles become challenges to overcome, not reasons to quit. Your why will give you the strength to endure, to persevere, and to ultimately succeed. So the next time you feel like giving up, take a moment to reconnect with your why. Remind yourself of the reason you started this journey. Let that reason fill you with the determination to keep going, no matter how difficult the road becomes. Because in the end, it's not the pain that defines you, it's the purpose that pushes you through it. 5, you have greatness within you. Each and every one of us has a seed of greatness within, though most of us spend our lives doubting it. We often look at other people, those who have achieved incredible things, and think that they're somehow different, more special, or more gifted. But here's the truth, the greatness they have isn't unique to them. It's also inside of you. It's in all of us. The difference is whether or not we choose to believe in it and tap into it. The problem is, life has a way of making us forget that we have this potential. Over time, the challenges we face, the failures we endure, and the voices of doubt, both internal and external, can make us feel small, powerless, or inadequate. We start to believe that we're just ordinary, that greatness is reserved for a select few. But nothing could be further from the truth. Greatness isn't about being perfect. It isn't about never making mistakes or never failing. Greatness is about having the courage to pursue your dreams in spite of your imperfections. It's about pushing through your fears, doubts, and insecurities to become the best version of yourself. And that journey begins by recognizing that you already have everything you need within you. You don't need to be someone else or have someone else's skills, background, or talents. You need to embrace the unique greatness that's inside of you. One of the biggest barriers to unlocking our greatness is self-doubt. Too many of us are constantly second-guessing ourselves, downplaying our abilities, and diminishing our potential. We tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, or I don't have what it takes. But those thoughts are not based in truth. They are the lies we've picked up from society, from past failures, or from the fear of stepping outside our comfort zone. The moment you begin to believe in your greatness, everything changes. When you start seeing yourself as capable, talented, and worthy of success, you start to act differently. You take more risks. You put yourself out there. And you pursue opportunities that once seemed out of reach. Your belief in yourself fuels your actions, and your actions create your reality. But belief alone is not enough. You have to nurture your greatness by putting in the work. You must develop your skills, build your character, and continually push yourself beyond your limits. Greatness requires discipline, perseverance, and a commitment to growth. It's not something that happens overnight, but it is something that's within your reach if you're willing to put in the effort. Consider the people you admire most, the ones who have achieved things that inspire you. Their greatness wasn't handed to them. It was cultivated through years of dedication, resilience, and the willingness to fail and try again. They didn't wait for someone else to tell them they were great. They chose to believe it themselves and acted accordingly. And you can do the same. Greatness also doesn't mean achieving fame, fortune, or recognition. True greatness is about making an impact, whether that's in your family, your community, your profession, or the world at large. It's about living a life that is true to your values and making the most of the talents and opportunities you've been given. Your greatness might manifest in being an exceptional parent, a visionary leader, a compassionate friend, or someone who simply refuses to give up on their dreams, no matter how hard the road gets. Remember, greatness isn't something outside of you, it's within you. It's not about comparing yourself to others or chasing someone else's definition of success. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you are and allowing your unique light to shine. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you, fully awake to your potential and ready to make your mark. To unlock your greatness, start by silencing the doubts that tell you that you can't. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and remind you of your worth. And most importantly, take action. Greatness doesn't reveal itself while you're sitting still. It's uncovered when you step out, take risks, and pursue your dreams relentlessly. You have greatness within you. It's been there all along, waiting for you to claim it. Don't let fear, self-doubt, or the opinions of others hold you back. You are capable of more than you can imagine, and it's time to start living like it. The world is waiting for the greatness only you can bring. 6. The power of persistence. Persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's easy to start something, whether it's a new business, a fitness goal, or a personal project, but the true test comes when the excitement fades and you're left with the hard, unglamorous work. That's where most people stop. They give up when the journey becomes difficult, when progress feels slow, or when they hit their first major setback. But the people who achieve great things understand one key principle: the power of persistence. Persistence is the ability to keep going even when the odds are against you, when nothing seems to be working, and when you feel like quitting. It's about showing up day after day, putting in the effort, and refusing to let temporary defeats define your future. Success doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from the willingness to keep trying, to adapt, and to push forward, no matter how many times you fall short. One of the most important lessons in life is that success is rarely immediate. The idea of overnight success is largely a myth. What looks like an overnight success is almost always the result of years of persistence, of someone working tirelessly behind the scenes, failing, learning, and improving. The reason most people don't succeed isn't because they lack talent or ability, it's because they give up too soon. Consider how many great inventions, businesses, and works of art would never have come to fruition if their creators had stopped after the first failure. Thomas Edison famously conducted over 1,000 experiments before he invented the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as wasted efforts. Instead, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of persistence. Every setback, every failure is simply feedback that brings you one step closer to success. Persistence is also about resilience. It's about bouncing back from failure, rejection, and disappointment. Too often people take failure personally. They see it as a reflection of their worth or ability rather than as a natural part of the learning process. But the truth is, every successful person has failed, often more times than they can count. The difference is they didn't let those failures define them. They kept going. They persisted. There's a story about Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, that perfectly illustrates the power of persistence. At the age of 65, after a lifetime of setbacks, he set out to sell his fried chicken recipe. He was rejected over 1,000 times before he found someone willing to take a chance on him. Most people would have given up long before reaching that point, but not him. He believed in his vision and he was persistent. That persistence paid off, and today KFC is one of the most recognizable brands in the world. But persistence doesn't just apply to big dreams and goals, it's also about the small, everyday actions that add up over time. Whether you're learning a new skill, improving your health, or working toward a promotion, persistence is the key to long-term success.
It's the daily effort, the consistency, and the refusal to quit, even when progress seems slow.
Here's the truth: there will always be obstacles. Life will throw challenges in your path, unexpected setbacks, delays, and disappointments. You'll face moments of doubt, where you question whether it's all worth it. But persistence is about pushing through those moments. It's about finding a way forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. It's about having faith in the process and trusting that as long as you keep moving, you will eventually get where you want to go. It's important to understand that persistence doesn't mean blindly continuing on the same path if something isn't working. It means being adaptable, learning from your mistakes, and making adjustments along the way. It means being willing to change your approach, but never your goal. Sometimes persistence means taking a step back, reevaluating your strategy, and then pushing forward with a renewed sense of purpose. One of the greatest rewards of persistence is that it builds character. The more you push through challenges, the more resilient you become. Every time you overcome a setback, you gain confidence in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. You develop grit, determination, and the inner strength to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the journey becomes. Ultimately, persistence is about believing in yourself and your vision even when the rest of the world doesn't. It's about knowing that setbacks are temporary, but quitting is permanent. As long as you keep going, you're still in the game. You still have a chance to succeed. The only way to truly fail is to give up. So no matter how difficult things may seem, no matter how many times you fall short or how slow the progress feels, keep going. Stay persistent. Because the power of persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who give up too soon. It's what turns dreams into reality. 7. You are the author of your story. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. There are moments of joy, but there are also moments of hardship, struggle, and pain. Too often, people feel like they are just along for the ride, like they are passengers in their own lives, shaped and controlled by circumstances beyond their control. But the truth is, no matter what has happened to you or where you've been, you are still the author of your own story. You have the power to write the chapters that follow. The biggest mistake people make is believing that their past defines them. Maybe you've experienced failure, heartbreak, or disappointment, and it's left you feeling like your story is already written, that you're stuck in a narrative you didn't choose. But your past is just one chapter. It doesn't have to dictate the rest of your life unless you allow it to. You have the ability to turn the page, to create a new narrative, and to shape your future according to your vision and dreams. The key to taking control of your story is realizing that, while you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond to it. Life will throw challenges your way, loss, setbacks, rejection, but your response to those challenges determines the direction your story will take. Will you allow those hardships to defeat you, or will you use them as fuel to propel you forward? Will you remain stuck in a cycle of self-doubt? Or will you take ownership of your life and start writing a new chapter? The power of being the author of your story lies in the choices you make every day. Each decision, big or small, adds a sentence, a paragraph, a chapter to your life's narrative. The job you pursue, the relationships you build, the risks you take, and the dreams you chase, these are all part of the story you are creating. And the beautiful thing is, it's never too late to start writing a new story. You might have spent years living in a certain way, but with a single decision, you can change the direction of your life. You are not bound by the past. You are free to reinvent yourself at any moment. Often we allow other people to dictate our story. We let their opinions, judgments, and expectations shape the decisions we make. But your story belongs to you and you alone. No one else can live it for you, and no one else can live it for you. And no one else should be allowed to control it. It's easy to get caught up in seeking approval from others or trying to live up to someone else's idea of success. But when you do that, you lose sight of what truly matters to you. You end up living someone else's story instead of your own. To be the author of your story, you have to be brave enough to follow your own path, even when it goes against the expectations of others. You have to trust that your vision, your goals, and your dreams are valid, even if they don't fit the mold that society has created. It requires courage to take ownership of your life and say, this is who I am. And this is the story I want to tell. Part of being the author of your story also means embracing the twists and turns. Life will not always go according to plan. There will be plot twists, moments of uncertainty, and challenges you didn't foresee. But every great story has conflict, moments of doubt, and setbacks. It's what makes the protagonist's journey compelling. Your challenges are not the end of your story, they're just part of the plot. How you navigate them, how you rise above them, is what will define your character and your legacy. And remember, being the author of your story doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Every great story has supporting characters, people who encourage, challenge, and uplift the protagonist. Surround yourself with people who believe in your vision and support your growth. They can help you see possibilities when you feel stuck and remind you of your power when you feel discouraged. But ultimately, the pen is in your hands. You get to decide who plays a role in your story and what direction you take. Part of being the author of your story also means embracing the twists and turns. Life will not always go according to plan. There will be plot twists, moments of uncertainty, and challenges you didn't foresee. But every great story has conflict, moments of doubt, and setbacks. It's what makes the protagonist's journey compelling. Your challenges are not the end of your story, they're just part of the plot. How you navigate them, how you rise above them is what will define your character and your legacy. There's something incredibly liberating about recognizing that you are the one in control. It shifts your perspective from being a passive observer to an active creator. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start viewing them as opportunities for growth and transformation. You understand that every day is a new chance to write a better story, one that reflects your true purpose and potential. So take a look at the story you've been writing so far. Are you proud of it? Does it reflect who you are and what you truly want in life? If not, then decide today to start writing a new chapter. You are not stuck. You are not defined by what has already happened. The pen is in your hand, and you have the power to create a story that's meaningful, fulfilling, and uniquely yours.